The cowboy raised his rifle, not at the woman, but at the 3 men closing in behind her. "Touch them," he said coldly, "and you'll never leave this ranch alive." The mother collapsed to her knees, children scattering like frightened birds. She didn't know if she'd just been saved or walked into something worse. But 12 hours earlier, she didn't even know this man existed. And now he was the only thing standing between her family and hell. Eliza's hands were still shaking from what she'd done. She'd stabbed a man. Not deep, just enough to make him let go of her daughter's arm. Enough to buy 10 seconds. Enough to run. Her husband Robert had been dead for 3 weeks. Crushed in a mine collapse outside Red Hollow. The company called it an accident. Paid her nothing. Said he'd violated safety protocol. It was a lie. But lies don't pay rent. The landlord, Eugene Crowley, came on day 16. Smiled too wide, stood too close. Said she had 2 choices. Pay what she owed or work it off in ways that made her skin crawl. She told him to leave. He came back on day 20 with 2 men and a contract. "Sign this and your debt transfers to labor. You and the children work my land for 2 years. After that, you're free." She was desperate, exhausted, alone. She signed. The next morning, they came for the kids. That's when she ran. 5 children, ages 4 to 13. Henry, the oldest, serious, protective, trying to be the man of the family. Lydia, 11, quiet, watchful, always sketching in the dirt. The twins, Nell and Rose, 8, still young enough to think this was an adventure. And Jacob, 4, who cried every night for his papa. They walked for 2 days through ravine country, no food after the first day, water running out by the second. Eliza's feet bled through her boots. Jacob rode on her back until she couldn't carry him anymore. Then Henry took him. On the 3rd morning, Nell collapsed. Eliza knelt beside her, heartbreaking. "Get up, baby, please." "I can't, Mama." Henry looked at her with eyes too old for 13. "We're not going to make it, are we?" Eliza had no answer. That's when Lydia pointed. Smoke. A ranch. Maybe 2 miles west. It was their last chance. Ethan Cole was mending a fence when he saw them. At first, he thought it was a mirage. Heat did that out here. But then he saw the smallest one fall. Saw the woman try to lift him and fail. He dropped his tools and moved. By the time he reached them, the mother was on her knees. Children collapsed around her like fallen leaves. "Please," she whispered. "Just water." Ethan didn't ask questions. Not yet. He carried the youngest, walked them to the house, and gave them water slowly. Too much too fast could kill them. He set out bread, dried meat, and canned peaches. The children ate like wolves. Eliza couldn't. She just watched them, tears streaming. When they'd finished, Ethan finally spoke. "You running from the law?" "No, from a man." She hesitated. "Men." He nodded. "Are they coming after you?" "I don't know. Maybe." Ethan looked at the children, bruised, barefoot, exhausted. "Are these all your children?" Eliza's voice cracked. "Yes." Ethan stood, jaw tight. Decision made. "Good. I'll take everyone." "If you were Eliza, would you trust this stranger?" Comment yes or no. And if you're hooked, smash that like button right now. This story is about to get intense. Eliza didn't understand. "Take us where?" "Here. You stay. Work the ranch if you want or don't. Either way, you're safe." "Why would you do that?" Ethan's eyes were distant. "Because nobody helped me when I needed it, and I've regretted it every day since." He showed them to the bunkhouse, dusty, but solid beds with actual mattresses, blankets, and a stove. The children stared like it was a palace. That night, Eliza couldn't sleep. She kept waiting for the catch, the demand, the price. But Ethan never came. He stayed in the main house alone. Morning came quiet. Ethan made breakfast. Eggs, bacon, coffee. The children ate like they'd never seen food before. Henry watched him carefully. "Why are you helping us?" "Because you need it. Nobody does something for nothing." Ethan met his eyes. "I'm not nobody." That afternoon, Ethan taught them the ranch, how to feed the horses, mend a fence, and carry water without spilling. Jacob stuck to him like a shadow. Lydia sketched him when she thought he wasn't looking. For the first time in weeks, Eliza felt something like hope. Then the riders came. 3 men, dust-covered, armed. Ethan saw them from the barn, told the children to get inside, told Eliza to lock the door. He met them at the gate, rifle in hand. The leader was a man named Ronan Pike, scarred, mean, and loyal to Eugene Crowley. We're looking for a woman, 5 kids. You seen them? No. Ronan smiled. Funny, 'cause we tracked them right to your fence line. Then you tracked wrong. She's got debts, Cowboy. Legal debts. We're here to collect. Ethan's voice dropped. She's got nothing. Then we'll take the kids, sell them to work camps out east. Covers half what she owes. Ethan raised the rifle. You'll take nothing. Ronan laughed. You going to shoot all 3 of us? If I have to. The air went still. Ronan's hand moved toward his gun. Ethan fired into the dirt, inches from Ronan's boot. Next one's higher. 4-5 long seconds. Nobody moved. Then Ronan spat. This ain't over, Cole. They rode off. But Ethan knew the truth. They'd be back. And next time they'd bring more men. Weeks passed. Eliza took over the house, cooking, cleaning, mending clothes that had been ignored for years. The children transformed. Henry learned to ride, to shoot, to work the land like he'd been born to it. Lydia found paints in an old trunk. Started covering the bunkhouse walls with murals, horses, sunsets, faces. The twins laughed again. And Jacob. Jacob started calling Ethan Sir, with a reverence that broke and healed Ethan's heart at the same time. One evening, Ethan found Eliza on the porch. You don't have to do all this, he said. I want to. You've given us everything. I've given you a roof. You've given this place life. She looked at him. Really looked. Why are you alone out here, Ethan? He was quiet for a long time. I had a family once. Wife named Margaret, daughter named Elise. I was a soldier gone for 2 years fighting a war I didn't believe in. His voice cracked. Came home to graves. Fever took them both while I was gone. I wasn't there to hold their hands. Wasn't there to say goodbye. Eliza's hand found his. I'm sorry. I swore I'd never care about anyone again. Easier that way. He looked at her. But then you showed up and I realized I've been dead for 10 years. You brought me back, but the peace didn't last. A rider came at dawn. A boy from town, breathless. Mr. Cole, sheriff's coming with Crowley. They got papers. Ethan's blood went cold. How long? Hour, maybe less. He turned to Eliza. Pack light. Take the children. Head north to the ravine. There's a cabin. No, Eliza said. I'm done running. Her voice was still. We fight. Henry stepped forward. I'll fight too. No, Ethan's voice was firm. You protect your family. That's your job. He looked at Eliza. Trust me. One more time. She nodded. They came with 6 men. Sheriff Walter Briggs, Eugene Crowley, Ronan Pike, and 3 others. Ethan met them in the yard, unarmed. Sheriff. Ethan. Don't make this hard. Crowley stepped forward. Smug. She signed a contract. Legal and binding. She owes me 2 years' labor, her and the children. She was coerced. Doesn't matter. Law's the law. The sheriff looked uncomfortable. I'm sorry, Ethan, but he's right. Contract's valid. How much to clear it? Crowley grinned. $300. A fortune. Ethan disappeared into the house. Came back with a lockbox. Inside, every cent he'd saved in 15 years. He counted it out slowly, painfully. 270. That's all I have. Crowley laughed. Not enough. Then take the ranch. Everyone froze. What? The sheriff said. The ranch. The land, the house, all of it. Worth 10 times what she owes. Sign it over to clear her debt. Eliza ran out. Ethan, no. He didn't look at her. Do we have a deal? Crowley's eyes gleamed. Deal. Papers were signed. The ranch, Ethan's entire life, was gone. But Eliza and the children were free. Type respect in the comments if you think Ethan is the most heroic man in this story. And subscribe because what happens next will blow your mind. As Crowley rode off, the sheriff lingered. That was a foolish thing you did, Ethan. Had to be done. Briggs leaned in close. You know that contract was forged, right? Ethan's eyes sharpened. What? Crowley faked her signature. I've seen enough documents to know. But proving it, that would take months. Lawyers. Money you don't have. Why are you telling me this? Because you're a good man and Crowley's a snake. He tipped his hat. If someone were to find proof that the contract was fake, well, that would change everything. He rode off. Ethan stood there, mind racing. Then Henry appeared. I heard. What do we do? Ethan looked at the boy, this child who'd become a son. We get it back. That night, Ethan and Henry rode into town. Crowley kept his office above the saloon, locked tight. But Ethan had been a soldier. Locks didn't scare him. They slipped in through the back, found the office, started searching papers, contracts, ledgers. Then Henry found it. A ledger with dozens of names, families, all with contracts signed, all working Crowley's land for nothing. And a separate page. Practice signatures. Including Eliza's. He's been doing this for years, Henry whispered. Ethan took the ledger. Let's go. They were halfway to the door when Ronan Pike stepped out of the shadows, gun drawn. Thought you might try something stupid. Ethan pushed Henry behind him. Let the boy go. Can't do that. Then you'll have to shoot us both. Ronan's finger tightened on the trigger. A gunshot. But not from Ronan. He dropped, clutching his leg. Behind him stood Sheriff Briggs, smoking pistol in hand. Told you I hated snakes. He looked at Ethan. Get that ledger to the judge. I'll handle this. Act 7. Justice. By morning, the town knew everything. Crowley was arrested. His land seized. Every family he'd enslaved was freed. The judge reviewed the documents. Mr. Cole, your ranch is hereby returned to you, with the court's apologies. Ethan nodded, but he didn't feel victorious. He felt exhausted. When he returned to the ranch, the children ran to him. Jacob jumped into his arms. You did it. Lydia hugged him. I knew you would. Henry shook his hand. Thank you for everything. But it was Eliza who stopped him. She took his face in her hands. You gave up everything for us. I got it back. That's not what I mean. Her eyes filled. You gave up your solitude. Your peace. Your walls. You let us in. Ethan's voice was rough. You made it worth it. Then let me say something I should have said weeks ago. She kissed him. Soft. Sure. Full of everything words couldn't hold. When she pulled back, she whispered. We're not leaving. Ever. This is home. Your home. Ethan looked at the children, at the ranch, at the woman who brought light back into his life. And for the first time in 10 years, he smiled. Yeah, it is. The ranch grew. Henry became a foreman, married a girl from town, built a house on the north pasture. Lydia's painting sold in Clearwater City. She stayed close though. Said the light was better here. The twins opened a school for ranch children. Jacob, now 9, was Ethan's shadow. Learning everything. Becoming the man his father would have been proud of. And Eliza, she became Mrs. Cole in every way that mattered. They married quietly under the cottonwood tree where she'd first collapsed. One evening as the sun set over the plains, Ethan sat on the porch with Jacob on one side and Eliza on the other. Papa Ethan, Jacob said. He'd started calling him that a year ago. Ethan never corrected him. Yes, son. Do you ever miss being alone? Ethan looked at his family, loud, chaotic, beautiful. Not for a single second. Eliza squeezed his hand, and Ethan realized something. He'd spent 10 years thinking he'd lost everything. But the truth was, he'd just been waiting. Waiting for the day a desperate mother and 5 broken children would stumble onto his land and teach him the most important lesson of all. Family isn't something you're born into. It's something you choose. And he'd choose them every single day for the rest of his life. If this story moved you, type family in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because we're just getting started. Stories of hope, courage, and love. Thanks for watching. See you in our next story.